I tell you what makes me a little not calm. Trump keeps joking about a third term. Get it? Democracy's over.
I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that? He does it all the time. He does it all the time.
Well, he likes to joke. I know he's funny as shit.
But
I'm telling you, the guy's hilarious. He's so fun to hang out with.
yeah, I bet he is fun to hang out with. But you don't think he's serious about that?
No.
And why would Republican lawmakers care about what Democratic voters think? Democratic voters aren't going to vote for them. They're voting for Democratic lawmakers who are totally abandoning them and doing nothing. Look, everyone understands that Republicans are in charge right now. Everyone understands that Donald Trump is the president and Republicans have a majority in Congress, in both the House and the Senate. We get it. But there is a clear distinction between Democrats and Republicans when the shoe is on the other foot and Republicans don't have the majority in the House or Senate, and when a Democrat is in the executive branch. They find other creative ways to fight back. But you don't see that from Democrats. That's the thing that really stands out here. And look, if they're not going to have a strategy, the least they can do is shut the F up about how irritated they are.
Good morning. Okay, so George Soros is this foreign-born left-wing guy who essentially wants to change the nature of our country. And in this data dump, one of the memos was about the refugee crisis. And they made 3 points. They think that they've been successful at influencing immigration policy across the world for open borders. He wants people to be able to go wherever they want.
Yes, there is something going on. I'm going to show you that video. If you've been following this channel very keenly, you realize I put out a video where this lady you just watched is freaking out after seeing Trump mugshot in the White House. She is not happy that Trump put that up in the Oval Office. When I look at the run she's putting out, looking back at videos where she used to, talk good about him, I really wonder if someone works for the mainstream media, this is the kind of way they want you to think. It is crazy. She has been taking heat from the White House press secretary because she is fond of interrupting Trump. Even her, the other day, a question surfaced to this lady about this AP reporter that has been fired in the White House. She was shocked when this lady asked this. I don't know if you've seen this. I'm going to show you that video.
White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night.
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus. Many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the Geographical Identification Name Server. And Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. And it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world.
Sir, we saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yes, these same people didn't go up to follow Biden like they are doing with Trump. AP reporter was fired for simply doing this. It is normal. They've asked you, pronounce it clearly, the Gulf of America, not the Gulf of Mexico. AP reporter didn't listen. She didn't want to take the instructions. She had to proceed to call a Gulf of Mexico. Really imagine this. Continue to publish tweets, articles about that. It's crazy. Google has recognized it. Oh, in fact, everywhere, Apple, they've recognized that name. Why can't you follow that through? After you've been fired, I started hearing stories. This lady asking these questions, this is just one out of 20 that I've seen. We are still going to see some videos.
Cabinet, sir, we saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. get confirmed. He's going to come in here and be sworn in. Mitch McConnell has now voted against several of your nominees. He voted against RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories.
Joe Biden is a friend of CNN and Kaitlan Collins. It's the fact that the time that she chose to speak out, it was before she was called upon. I believe there is decorum when you're in the Oval Office meeting with the president, and there is a time to speak, and she sort of chose to violate that?
And Kaitlan Collins should know that because she was a White House correspondent during the first Trump term. And then Joe Biden comes into office and suddenly she couldn't run from that room fast enough. But now she's back to hold the powerful accountable because Trump is back in. She's there to make herself the story. She is a recycled version of Jim Acosta. Look at me. No other reporter there jumped in to ask a question. Only Kaitlan Collins did because CNN wants to be a part of the story because that's worked so well for CNN to this point. Here's what I know. Since 4 years ago this time in 2021, CNN's primetime ratings, which include Kaitlan Collins' show, is down 85% from that time. No one trusts that network anymore.
You can see how people are complaining about her. They are not happy. She wants to make sure that she should be on the news every single day. Oh, the person want to do this. Oh, she was rushing and interrupt. I watched a video circulating on social media where she's ranting about Trump mugshot. Fox News reacted to this. It is important. I show you that video. Take a look at this.
We never had a U.S. president with a mugshot. I'm not sure we've ever had a mugshot hanging outside of the Oval Office before. But that is where President Trump has placed his from when he was indicted in Fulton County, Georgia, for his efforts to overturn the election. We learned a few days ago he has a framed cover of the New York Post with his mugshot just outside the Oval Office in what is known as the Outer Oval. Now, we discovered this when he was greeting the Indian Prime Minister. They were seated in chairs in front of the fireplace in the Oval, but just over the shoulder of his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, you could see the president's mugshot there as he has it framed. His aide and person who is his social media guru, really, Dan Scavino, posted a video of it saying, "Happy Valentine's Day" from the beautiful Oval Office. This has really become a rallying cry that Trump has used on the campaign trail. They've even put it on merch and sold it featuring his mugshot. And now it has a home outside the Oval Office.
The story we have for you, this just out. It was a photo that was taken yesterday in the Oval Office. So zoomed out, it just looks like an ordinary photo, right? You see the president there with Modi, the Secretary of State, just a meeting. But when you zoom in into that door, what you see captured in that red circle is the mugshot of President Trump. Now, this is a rather interesting place. This is called Outer Oval. This is where pretty much every guest, with few exceptions, walks through. Then to the left, you see the top of a grandfather mahogany clock. And then you walk into the Oval Office, meaning just about every guest, with few exceptions, some enter the Roosevelt Room, will walk past the Fulton County mugshot of President Donald J. Trump. How is that for irony? You know, Tommy, I look at this, and there's so much symbolism here. Yeah. Because Democrats tried to destroy this man, and that photo captures that endeavor. They did not destroy him. He is hanging up the photo in Outer Oval that Democrats in Congress, senators, will have to walk by when they meet President Trump in the Oval Office.
He's trolling the trolls, and it's so epic. I love it so much, but I think it's also not even just for him a sign of resilience, but for the American people as well. That was a turning point, that mugshot. There's a reason he was so proud of it. He didn't look at it like you typically look at a mugshot. He looked at it like a badge of honor. He marketed it. It was a big moment for him in a campaign season of so many moments. But it is also indicative to the American people. So many that have felt beat down, that have felt run down, that have felt stepped on and squashed by this behemoth that is the federal government. This is also a picture for them, reminding them, hey, look Look at all the things that Donald Trump went through. I can get through it too. He has an army of people behind him.
There is nothing you can tell me that this lady is okay. She's hurt seeing that. When I look at why she is freaking out about that picture, I don't get it. Okay, they did Trump dirty. Yeah, Trump took a decision like embrace what they did to him. It paved a way in Trump's life that he can't even forget what he went through. That is a reminder that the world should see. Every person entering into this Oval Office will obviously see this, and it will ring a bell into their head. Libras don't like that. We saw what Trump went through. From one after another lawsuit, this one attending court, this. They wanted to embarrass him like this. But it turned out to be something positive. Reason they are never fined by it. Thank you guys for always been there sharing out my videos. If you see videos, short clips behind it, that is for the algorithm. You can stop here. It helps the channel in a way I can't explain here.
Upset that Donald Trump took a
He posted 3 times about this.
That he would be shutting down PEPFAR.
A bully and a thug who's the president of the United States, U.S., it's everywhere.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits. A chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole U.S. aid thing, where they're uncovering massive amounts of corruption.
And also, I got to say,
Don't you agree?
I totally agree.
Essential.
Early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10 to her.
The EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And
awful things have happened. So and sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are a somebody in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking straight, remember it.
As a country about January.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know.
Jordan.
Josh Green, the governor.
Watch news or talk.
Now look, I have a lot of...
The Democratic Party has about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today,
The biggest loser on Team Chiefs, literally right next to us was Taylor Swift. And then to the left was Donald Trump. Those are